What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this fabulous day?
Pat, I've rationalized because we're recording this an hour after the series finale against Minnesota ended, and I'm able to look at it from the viewpoint of we took 3 out of 4. That's a good thing. Real quick, I want to say that I stand by my take that one day all umpires will be homeless, and I'll be very pleased about that. Real quick, this is the way I see it. They're so bad at their jobs, and they think they can just get away with it, right? They think they're the stars of the show in baseball games nowadays. Well, 10 years from now, I'll be walking along the streets having a good time because the Yankees just won the World Series for Pete. And they'll be asking for some change with their little cup out. And I'm going to say no. Actually, I'm going to spit in their cup because they screwed over the Yankees on September 8th of 2022. Not a fan of umpires, Pat. Not a fan of umpires. And before I ask you how you
want me
do,
to be honest?
Sure.
If I'm walking down the street and I see Angel Hernandez asking for change,
I'm spitting in
I'm
the
giving
cup.
him $1.
I'm not giving him a goddamn thing.
Dude, I feel sympathy for people unlike you, bro.
I don't feel sympathy for people that screw me over. But can I tell you why I'm doing good? Can I tell you why I'm doing good before I ask you how you're doing? I got the shirt for $15 at Target today. $15. First of all, when do you ever see Jeter shit around nowadays? At least in there's like a regular store like Target. $15, Pat. So 3 out of 4 from the Twins. 3 out of 4 from the Twins. Nice Jeter shirt for $15 at Target. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I mean, listen, I'm not doing as good as you because I didn't get a $15 shirt, but I'm doing good because life is good. You know what I mean? Like you said, 3 out of 4 from Minnesota. Disappointed we didn't get the sweep, and I'm also disappointed Carlos Correa is not a New York Yankee. Dude, that's okay. And also, Gary's hitting nukes. That's kind of like what we asked for, for the Yankees to win the series and Gary to do well, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan, I say we just get right into it, right?
Let's do it, pal.
Pal.
I was gonna say punk. I've been calling people punks like in a lovey way lately, and then I was gonna say pal, so I said like Paul or something like that.
Okay,
Paul. Tell me,
okay,
Paul.
pal. Yeah, thanks, pal. So Randy Levine. Dan, you know Randy Levine. First of all, speaking of Randy Levine, do you remember when we went to the Sweet game a couple years ago? We saw Randy Levine.
We did see Randy Levine. I remember that. We were acting like some rich motherfuckers that day, bro, in that Jim Beam suite.
So Randy Levine, he sparked some controversy this week with some of the things he said on the Joel Sherman and John Heyman podcast called The Show. Dan, he sparked a bunch of controversy regarding Brian Cashman. There was some stuff said about Aaron Judge, the all-time Yankee. There was a lot to unpack and a lot of things to take away. What was one of your main takeaways from kind of like Randy Levine's thoughts?
Yeah, well, I'll get to the main one in a second. There's 2 things people really pointed out. The first one being the Judge talk. A lot of people were up in arms about this. Here's the way I see it. One, Randy Levine, no offense, no disrespect. He's kind of just like an unlikable dude. At least that's the way he comes across in interviews, right? So naturally, he pisses me off with pretty much everything he says. But the Judge stuff was pretty much a nothing burger. He was saying how they're going to try their best to make him a Yankee for life. They know how much he means to the franchise. But at the same time, he did kind of do like some pre-damage control, it seemed like, by saying they already offered him the biggest offer they've given to a position player and that it takes 2 to tango. So it does kind of seem like he's like preparing for a possible departure. Aaron Judge, who knows? I'm not going to read too much into that. What did catch my eye, and Pat, you might get pretty pissed about this, knowing how you feel about Carlos Correa. Apparently, and this is him kind of throwing Brian Cashman under the bus, he said that Cashman never came to him about getting a big-time shortstop and that it had nothing to do with a luxury tax situation. It wasn't a financial decision. It was purely a baseball operations decision. That's what Yankees president Randy Levine said. And that is quite interesting because it doesn't exactly compute in my head how that makes sense. How can Carlos Correa or Corey Seager, who's having a pretty damn good year, how could those 2 be on the market? And when it comes to a pure baseball decision, when you're in need of a shortstop, and you can't give me the whole Anthony Volpe thing or Oswald Peraza, because whether it's Correa or Seager, Volpe, Peraza, if they're not playing short, they can slide over to second base. That's not an issue. How, when it comes down to a baseball decision and not finances, do you not go after one of those 2? I mean, I'm not saying I was the number 1 chaser after Carlos Correa. I do have some bitter feelings towards him still, and I forever will. But there was Corey Seager, too. How nice would it be to have Corey Seager playing shortstop for the Yankees or second base, wherever? I don't know. What do you think, man? I know what you think, but tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to feel about it, right? Because I feel like the whole offseason, we assumed that it was the opposite, right? We thought it was the other way around. Like, we thought Cashman kind of wanted to, like, pull the trigger on major deals, but the front office, I mean, the higher-ups weren't really allowing him to. But now we're hearing it's the other way around, right? Like, apparently, he never even approached them about doing so. I
wonder if I believe him almost. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. It's like
true.
So it's like that saying, right? Like I'm putting on my Socrates cap here. And there's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth, right? And
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't think Cashman would really come out and be like, yeah, I wanted to get Correa, but Hal's too cheap to let me do so. I don't think that he would ever come out and say that. So we'll probably like never really know the truth about anything. However, at the end of the day, I think the only thing here that matters is that the Yankees didn't get any of those star shortstops, and we're kind of just like sitting here being like, oh, whose fault is it? Like, no, like it should have gotten done and it didn't. So at the end of the day, like everyone's screwed. Like that's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah. And I'm not too pleased with really anybody up in the front office right now. But I do have to wonder. I mean, I don't exactly know what the president of a baseball team, like what their role exactly is. Like, what does Randy Levine
I
do?
don't know.
Because would Brian Cashman come to him or would he come to House? Because it is House Steinbrenner's money. So
Who does
it
he
is
go
kind of,
to?
that's what I'm
No,
wondering. Like,
but
I
the thing
wouldn't,
is, it's not even like Hal's money. Like, let's just be real. Like, I know Hal owns the team, but I'm sure there's like a whole like financial
there is, but
people.
no,
Like, you know what I mean?
it is mostly House. I mean, he has like the brunt. I know what you're saying though. Like, there's a lot of like investors and people that are involved in the franchise. But yeah,
No, I'm
that's
not
something
even
that was,
talking investors. I'm talking about like people who decide where the money is allocated to. Like, I
I mean, I
doubt
think
at
that
the end
comes
of the day,
down to
like that's only
Cashman. I think
Hal.
that is what comes down to Cashman is given a number and he's able to do whatever he wants with that number. At least I think it was kind of confusing to me how he had to go to Levine for that. Whatever. The bright side of this, because I like to have a bright side. Correa is definitely going to opt out. So if we want to, I don't think it's going to happen, but it is possible we'd have a second chance at him. At this point, I mean, with Volpe coming up, it makes more sense now to not go after him than it did this past off season.
Dude, the Yankees literally chose. And listen, I'm not pissing on IKF. I kind of like IKF, especially at third base. However, the Yankees chose IKF over Carlos Correa. Like that's essentially what happened this offseason. So I doubt that they'd make a run for him
And
this year.
real
But
quick, with the way Volpe's playing at AAA, dude does like a 1.4 OPS in his first like 7 or 8 games there. He very well could have been up a couple months ago, honestly.
sure.
Like once it was clear that he conquered AA, same with Peraza conquering AAA, these guys could have been up a couple months ago. And we said this with IKF on the last episode. If he just served his purpose as a stopgap, I don't think Yankee fans would be complaining as much as they have
Yeah.
been with him,
Yeah.
But
listen, Dan, we're kind of speaking of like people on the Yankees roster, lack thereof, right?
we do that.
The Yankees have quite a few players on the IL. DJ, Rizzo, Stanton was dealing with some foot stuff, but he pinch hit tonight. Decent at bat, but like let's just be real. If Stanton was like locked in, there was probably like 4 pitches in that at bat that he would take in 450.
Yeah,
easy.
especially against a lefty.
Yeah. But speaking of all the injuries, how concerned are we that the injuries are probably going to might be too much for the Yankees to kind of like make a deep run in October, right? Because those are only a few names. Like that's not to mention the ones that we talked about in the last episode, Benintendi and Carpenter. Like a lot of the Yankees' key pieces of the lineup. We've seen lineups against Twins over the last couple of days that look like the Rail Riders, and that's not even like a joke. Like the Yankees are fielding a AAA team right now. So how concerned are we like moving forward?
Yes. So there's 2 ways I'll go with this. One is, and this is my optimistic viewpoint of it, and I think this is something that Yankee fans can actually get somewhat excited about. I mentioned it before, but ideally we win the AL East. ALDS game 1 is not until October 11th. That gives us over a month for Benintendi to get right, Carpenter to get right. So just because we kind of have to, if we want to have any chance going into October, I'm banking on those guys coming back. And I don't think that's actually being all that crazy unrealistic, to be honest. What does concern me is more so, is Stanton going to be able to get right by the playoffs? Now, I'd like to say he will, but didn't look great tonight. Hasn't looked good since coming off IL. Now he's dealing with a new foot situation. DJ LeMahieu dealing with the toe stuff. Hasn't been the same guy at all over the last month. So availability wise, not concerned. Performance being affected by like nagging injuries, that's where I'm concerned, if that makes sense.
Isn't it weird? I mean, this is off topic. Isn't the whole theory of injuries weird? Like me and you, right? I know we're not professional baseball players, but we go about our daily like life. I would never assume that like I'd be hurting with foot stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird that there's so many injuries, bro, with professional athletes.
I hear you, but man, since meeting a couple big leaguers here and there, shout out Trevor Plouffe, but just in general, you hear about it, and the 162 game season really is such a grind. And I don't think I appreciated
I'm
that
not,
when I was
dude.
younger.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying
I know. I'm not
thought.
saying you're one of those people that says like baseball players are wusses. Not at all.
Yeah.
I know you're not saying that. But like as I've just read more and like listened more from like players, like shit just pops up, man. Like especially during the dog days, going through like a long season, you get into August, like that's when the hammy pulls, that's when like the calf strains, all that stuff starts to pop up. So I mean, like it's weird, but man, I guess I get it. I haven't played a 162 game season, unfortunately, in my life. But
have you played any game season?
Well, I was more so saying I never made it to the big leagues with that. But yeah, I used to play some high
You
school ball.
didn't?
I was a junior on JV. No, I didn't make it to the big leagues,
You were
Pat.
a
Thank you.
junior on JV? Is that
Yeah,
legal?
pitcher of the year though. Yeah, it was legal. I only threw like
Dude,
70
that's
miles an
not
hour at
legal.
17. Hey,
You
I wasn't a
you can't
senior.
be in,
Yes,
dude.
you
You
can.
can't be on JV as a junior.
Hey, listen
JV
here.
is
What
freshman and
happened was,
sophomore.
what happened was
What did
I was
you? You're like that guy from Benchwarmers with that I am 12 birth certificate.
kind of. I mean, no, here's the thing. I was gonna make varsity and all. But then I hurt my back. So I just, I never really got my footing and my career just derailed from there. And then I quit senior year to watch Aaron Judge. True story. I was like, I'm not missing any more of these homers. Because my junior year was during his rookie season. But
Fun fact: I led all of Queens in batting average in my sophomore year
you
on
did,
JV.
didn't you? I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, whole
Good for
9
you.
at bats. Let's go.
Did you make it to the big leagues?
I would have, but
So we're in the
you
same
know,
boat.
life happens. But yo, speaking of injuries, speaking of like couple pitchers, right? Luis Severino's coming back soon. We should be back for the Boston series next week. But Dan, one name where I'm kind of like looking at him, I'm like, yo, I was not expecting this guy to come back this season. Zack friggin' Britton. He's listen, he he should be back sometime soon. Now he's kind of like a miracle project. I don't know. Apparently they used like a new treatment on him or something. He's kind of like a test dummy. I could be wrong, but like that's something I thought I heard. But Dan, are we thinking that he's going to be an X factor for the Yankees bullpen going into October? To be honest with you, the way I'm kind of looking at it, maybe. Especially like I know the Yankees bullpen is starting to come around a little bit, but I feel like we still don't have like back end guys. Like I know Holmes is starting to come around. I know Loiza's come around. I know Peralta's been good. However, it's like, yo, don't know what you're gonna get from Chapman. We lost King, we lost Green. So I feel like if Brink could come back and be like a shell of what he used to be, I'll take it.
Yeah. I'm torn on this because, dude, 2 weeks ago, I think I would have said an absolute yes. But now I'm kind of curious where he fits. And it may come down to him or Chapman, who's another guy that's on the IL. But I rolled out the Yankees bullpen on paper and I'm looking at it. So you have Holmes, Loiza, Peralta, Marinaccio, Trevino, Efros. Those are the 6 guys that I think are absolute, bearing any more injuries, knock on wood. Those are the guys that are locks to be on the postseason roster. Then you have Chapman coming back. You also have Albert Abreu coming back. I think he's coming back at least. I do wonder who's the odd man out.
What about Licky?
Licky too. I'm a piece of shit. I totally forgot about Licky, who's been great ever since the beginning of June. So you got to factor in him as well.
Excellent.
So it might be one spot for Chapman, Britton, or Abreu.
Yeah, but what if Britton comes back and dominates? You have no choice but to put him on the roster.
It depends when he comes back. I mean, if he comes back with enough time, because he's coming back,
let's say he comes back September 15th. Yeah.
And he looks good.
He looks great, like untouchable.
I'll tell you this right now. If it comes down to him or Chapman and Britton's looking good, Britton 100%. If he's looking good. I think that's what it will come down to. I think
like your 8th inning guy. I really think so.
The ultimate decision will be between, I think, Chapman or Britton. And like I said, if that's the case, you agree, right? We would go Britton over Chapman if he looks good coming back.
Yeah.
Going into October, bro, I'm not losing another game because of Aroldis Chapman. I'm not doing it. No.
No, I know, but like we could both agree, like we like Chapman as a Yankee. Like I think like his tenure as a Yankee, looking back on it, I view it as a success. I really do.
Sure. I don't want to say success, but I don't get on him as much only because when you're pitching in close games and you give up a run, like you're automatically just going to be the
scapegoat.
The scapegoat, right? That's the word I was looking for. So I give him kind of some slack there, but I wouldn't call it a success.
All right, fair enough, I guess. I would say no, screw that. I'm gonna say it's a success. But yo, that we're talking about like late impressions of Aroldis Chapman, right? What about some early impressions of Oswald Peraza? How are we feeling about him so far? To be honest with you, I'm liking him. I'm liking what we've seen so far.
Dude, it's very early impressions, but yeah, no, the defense has been really good. He's hit actually pretty well. Had 3 hits in game 1 of the doubleheader on what was that, Thursday or Wednesday? And then today we didn't end up coming back, but he did start off what would have been a potential rally at the time with a single. 6 games in, he's looked pretty solid. I mean, all you can really ask for is solid defense, especially when you consider the fact that, when looking at his performance, he hasn't been playing every day. I mean, he came up, didn't start, started a game, I think sat, then started again. And he's kind of getting some consistent playing time now, which is nice. Well, I mean, it's hard not to like him when, dude, what's the other alternative, really? Especially if you want to get into it. IKF at third base seems to be the way to go
I
now. So
love IKF at third base.
me
Like, I
too.
love
Third base IKF, bro. People are saying he's the best since A-Rod. I'm not necessarily willing to
I'd
go that
agree.
far, but it's in the streets.
No, but it's completely flipped my narrative on IKF. Like, I don't know if it's just like a recency bias kind of thing. But I mean, listen, like we know IKF is a gold glove third baseman. Like the fact that the Yankees haven't used him there sooner is really
It
weird
is
to me.
funny how long they took to put him there. It is quite
Yeah.
hilarious.
And
But
dude, also, isn't it like really funny that they put him at third base and he's a grand slam?
that
Like,
was awesome, by the way. That was
come
sick.
on.
Shout out to you, IKF. And yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with IKF, but I think no doubt the way to go, at least going forward with how the roster is currently constructed with all these injuries, it's a no-brainer. Peraza at short and IKF at third for the foreseeable
Yeah.
future, at least.
I mean, if I'm being honest, like I'm letting Peraza pitch.
Okay. Did you see we'll talk about him actually. We'll talk about this guy, but there's a Shohei Ohtani on the Yankees who should be sent to the Sun, which I kind of just gave
Oh
you a
yeah, yeah.
transition.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Ronald Guzman. So Dan, his debut as a Yankee probably couldn't have gone any worse. I can't remember like a worse debut in my life. However, now there's a lot of rumors going out there, like maybe Guzman is like sabotaging the Yankees on purpose. Now I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. Did you see his comments from a
I have
couple
it right
years
in front of me.
ago?
I'll read it. So in
Read
2018,
it.
after a 3-homer game, he said, and I quote, "I want to kill them every time I play them, to be honest. I never liked the Yankees growing up." And I think that quote ended up going further on, but that's all the tweet says. He's not a Yankee guy, is pretty much your point.
Smells like sabotage to me, Dan. How are we feeling about Ronald Guzman?
I'll tell you this right now. That quote wouldn't have, and still really doesn't mean anything to me. What does bother me, and the reason why I hope Ronald Guzman, he should have been DFA'd immediately after this happens, and I hope I never see him play another game in a Yankee uniform. That double play. First of all, he goes into the at-bat in his Yankee debut, playing first base for the first place New York Yankees. 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts going into this at-bat, right? Bases loaded, a chance to walk off the game, 1 out or no outs, whatever it was. This man hit a little chopper. All right, fine. I'll never criticize a player on performance. But what I will criticize on as a fan is effort. This dog chops a ground ball, whatever it was. I think it was a ground ball to first. They throw home and he ducks, tries to avoid the ball while jogging, mind you, looks back, and then continues to jog to first base in his Yankee debut. Continues to jog to first base. They throw over to first after already getting the first out at home. They throw to first. This motherfucker looks back again while jogging. Looks back, ducks out of the way, which I'm sorry. I don't want to maybe this is being rational. I don't think it is. Dude, it's not going to kill you. You have a helmet on. Just let it hit you, for Christ's sake. If it hits you, the game
Would you let
over,
it hit you?
But I wouldn't worry about it. I would just be like, all right, my job is to book my fucking ass to first base as fast as I possibly can. And if it does hit me, that means I'm guaranteed safe. And this man decides to jog, look back twice, and grounds out into a double play. And thank God we ended up winning that game. But either way, he should be sent to the sun. He should be put in baseball prison. I don't know, but never, ever put that man in the Yankee uniform again. It's actually a shame he was still in the goddamn roster today.
Can I tell you what hurts the most about it?
Yes.
When I look at Ronald Guzman, he has the plate presence of an absolute beast.
Beast. I wanted to love this dude.
It's really annoying because I see Ronald Guzman in the backs and I'm like, yo, this screams like Matt Carpenter vibes. Like he looks like he's getting an absolute nuke every single time he comes up to bat, bro. And I was super disappointed to see him just suck. And then not only just suck, but also like not really like give any effort. And I think that's the thing that hurt the most, right? Because like you said, like we're not really going to criticize a player for like underperforming, especially in their Yankee debut. However, if you're going to like go out there and act like you don't really care, especially like in the extra innings of like a close game, that's when we kind of have an issue. And it's kind of weird because I don't know, like that's something you expect to see maybe like from a Glaber, right? And Glaber, he kind of gets away with it because he's been on the team for a while. But Ronald Guzman, like really?
I don't expect to see it from anybody, to be honest. And it's annoying because I wanted to like him, man. He was having a good year down at AAA. And you're so right. The dude's a tank. And he made a nice play, I'm pretty sure, before his first at bat, like a little diving stop. Not anything crazy, but it was like, all right, off to a good start. And the 4 strikeouts, like I said, I can get past that. I would be doing the same thing. That's fine. I understand. Hitting at the big leagues is probably tough as hell. It's the effort, though, man. That will never, ever fly, whether it's with him, Glaber or if Judge did it, Stanton, whoever, you book your ass down to first base on a critical moment in the game. I don't care, third inning, up by 4, down by 4, little chopper shortstop. All right, you're gonna be out. That's different. This was unacceptable.
You know what I was just gonna say? Like, speaking of like not being able to like hit major league pitching or whatever, I say for one episode of the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel in the off season, like the episode is gonna be us at a batting cage, like trying to hit like 90-mile-an-hour fastballs.
I'm so down for a batting cage special.
I probably wouldn't touch it.
We should do that. I think that could be like a January or February episode. When
let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
drop a comment and let us know.
Dude,
but Dan, I think that's gonna wrap things up for today,
episode 6 in the books. Pat, I don't know about you. This might have been my favorite episode yet. Really? We are both 22. Yeah, I had a blast tonight with you, bro. I like these. I
always have a blast. I really do.
This was a good time. And like vibes, although we're coming off a loss, vibes are definitely better than they were last episode. I mean, we're talking about possibly missing the playoffs, which we both denied that would happen, but we're in a kind of a better spot.
Before we wrap things up tonight, I do have one thing I want to ask from you. Can you issue like an apology to like the umpires of America? Just listen, like Dan, they're not all bad. Like you're picking one bad, maybe a handful of bad apples.
No, not all of them are bad, but a good 75 to 85% of them, I do hope to see like on the streets of Manhattan, homeless begging for change in 10 years. I'm just saying. Also, we should mention, haven't pointed out at all, big 3-game set coming up against the Rays this weekend. Yes, the day this drops starts tonight on Friday. Huge series. They are just trailing by 3 games in the loss column, so I think it's safe to say.
Do you have a prediction?
Big series. 2 out of 3. Yeah, I think they'll take 2 out of 3. The Rays aren't that good, man. I'm sorry. It's kind of the same vibe. Like they pitch really well, but they're not hitting. So as long as the Yankees like continue to put up zeros or put up good pitching performances and we could scrape together, like, and this is kind of my vibe going into the playoffs, pitch well and find a way to scrape together 3 runs, win games.
I think the Yankees are going to sweep. This isn't just positive Patty coming out. I think we're going to sweep.
I can't do the positive Patty stuff no more. I thought we were past
positive Patty. But yeah, Dan, I think that's it.
That's it, yo. All right, drop a like in the video. Subscribe if you are new. Drop a comment. Tell Pat to stop going with the positive Patty nonsense. Just kidding. I'm a fan of positive Patty. I'd rather have you positive Patty than negative Patty. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Let's go Yankees.